In a world where almost everything can be captured on camera, some recordings still defy any logical explanation. People appearing out of thin air, strange figures watching from a distance, individuals doing things that seem impossible, and encounters so bizarre that even the biggest skeptics are left speechless. Could these just be illusions, edits, or coincidences, or is it possible that they are hiding secrets we still don't understand? And that's precisely what you're about to see today. Drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. In January of 2015, a group of film students from the city of Auckland in New Zealand were busy shooting a project near the old Parnell Railway area when they suddenly noticed something really strange on the other side of the tracks. Right there, amidst the tall grass and overgrown bushes, two figures wearing incredibly creepy white masks were silently watching the entire group without making a single sound. According to what the students later explained, that masked couple just kept on staring at the film crew for several long moments before they slowly started to approach them. The tension quickly grew as they realized the two individuals were carrying what definitely looked like real firearms. Completely frightened and unsure whether it was just an elaborate prank or an actual genuine threat, the young people began backing away while continuing to film everything that was happening. One of the students later stated that upon carefully reviewing the footage, he noticed the man apparently even cocked the weapon as he walked toward them in a menacing way. After they returned to school and reported the whole incident to the authorities, the police were immediately called and took it very seriously. When the students went back to the location sometime afterwards, they found armed officers and even a helicopter carrying out extensive searches throughout the area. The authorities treated the situation as a potential real threat, since it simply wasn't possible to know for certain if those guns were real or not. After the backlash, a bunch of theories popped up. Some people thought it was all part of a marketing campaign or some kind of staged event, but the police confirmed that the meeting happened for real. A few days later, the masked couple voluntarily turned themselves in to the authorities. It turned out the weapons were replicas, and the pair had no intention of committing crimes, even though their actions caused panic among several people who ran into them in parks and public areas around Auckland. Investigations later revealed the two were just young adults who decided to pull off a twisted prank, wearing masks that looked a lot like those scary movie ones. An incredible recording captures a seemingly ordinary young woman shocking everyone by demonstrating a strength that appears utterly impossible. After getting into a heated argument with a man moments after stepping off a bus in Taiwan, she extends her arm and, to the absolute shock of those around, the man is lifted right off the ground as if being pulled by some invisible force. The witnesses are genuinely terrified. Some even back away very quickly, truly believing they're witnessing a supernatural phenomenon. The footage quickly went viral and sparked countless wild theories. Many viewers became convinced the young woman possessed some kind of superhuman ability or telekinetic power, especially since she appeared confused about what was happening while the man stayed suspended in midair. The scene's incredible realism led thousands of people to wonder if the video could actually be real. However, it was later revealed that the whole thing was nothing more than an elaborate prank designed to scare the audience. The man who appeared to be lifted by the girl's powers was actually attached to a hidden system of cables and specialized equipment, while other elements of the scene were carefully and deliberately crafted to make the illusion convincing. The giant idea was to recreate an incredible visual effect similar to telekinesis and capture the spontaneous reactions of the surrounding crowd. A wild police chase captured by the dashboard camera of a police car turned into one of the most mysterious videos ever shared. The footage recorded during the early morning hours shows a fleeing vehicle performing several dangerous moves as it tries to escape from the authorities. At one point, the car makes a sharp turn and speeds straight toward a wire fence that apparently blocked the passage completely. What happens next left many viewers completely puzzled. The car seems to go straight through the fence without causing any damage and then disappears on the other side. Moments later, the police cruiser arrives at the same spot and is forced to stop in front of the obstacle, creating the impression that the fleeing car passed through the fence as if it never existed. For years, this video was fueling all kinds of theories about paranormal phenomena, glitches in reality, and even straight-up video editing. But later analysis pointed toward a much simpler explanation. Investigations carried out by specialized programs and internet users who studied the actual location concluded that the bottom part of that fence wasn't securely fastened to the ground. So when the car hit the structure at high speed, it basically lifted the metal mesh and drove right underneath it. Then the fence snapped back almost to its original position, which made it look like nothing had ever even happened. The darkness, the cloud of dust kicked up, and the distance of the camera all helped sell the illusion. Some accounts also suggest that the driver turned off the rear lights immediately after crossing the fence, making it even harder to follow where the vehicle went. Even though that recording is still one of the weirdest police dashcam chases ever recorded, the explanation most people accept today, and also the most, let's say, skeptical one, is that there was nothing supernatural going on. It was just a combination of sheer speed, poor lighting conditions, and a damaged fence that created one heck of a convincing illusion. Another recording that sparked countless discussions across the internet shows a seemingly impossible situation involving two trucks on a narrow road. In the video, a truck driver realizes he won't be able to get past the other vehicle coming from the opposite direction. Instead of using a conventional method to maneuver, he steps down from the cabin, walks to the back of his truck, and to the absolute astonishment of viewers, appears to push the enormous vehicle sideways using nothing but his bare hands, clearing enough space to pass. The scene quickly went viral because at first glance it gives the impression that the man possesses superhuman strength. However, the most likely explanation is far less extraordinary. Most viewers who have analyzed the footage believe the video was carefully staged or deliberately manipulated to create an optical illusion. To this day, there is absolutely no reliable evidence that the truck driver actually moved a multi-ton vehicle all by himself using only the strength of his arms. For this reason, the most accepted theory remains that it was all an elaborate montage. Back in February of 2022, a family living in San Bernardino, California, went through a situation that feels straight out of a horror movie. In the middle of the night, an intruder managed to get inside their apartment after removing an air conditioning unit that was installed in one of the windows. Without anyone noticing his presence, he walked through the rooms while the residents slept peacefully at night. What made this case even more terrifying was what the security cameras ended up capturing. The footage shows the man standing still for several long moments, watching Rachel Sandoval and her husband as they slept. According to Rachel, when she watched those recordings later on, she was completely shaken, realizing just how vulnerable her family truly was that night. The intruder stayed inside the residence for several minutes, rummaging through their belongings and looking for valuable items. After leaving the apartment through the front door, something even stranger happened. For completely unknown reasons, the man decided to come back just a few moments later. At that point, a nurse who was inside the house taking care of the couple's sick child noticed his presence and walked over to the door. When he saw her, the intruder acted like he was just a resident concerned about the property's safety and told her that she should lock the door because it was not safe to leave it open, completely unaware that the very same man had already been inside the house just minutes earlier. The nurse followed his advice and closed the door. Soon after, he calmly walked away. It was only when reviewing the camera footage that Rachel and her husband discovered the entire sequence of events. Beyond the initial fright, the family reported the disappearance of cash, jewelry, and other personal items. The intruder's behavior drew attention because of his extremely bold and unusual attitude, since he did not flee upon realizing there were people inside the residence, and the case started being investigated. Another clip that caught internet users' attention shows a man deep inside a forest, apparently manipulating the very earth around him. In the video, he makes sweeping motions with his hands while the soil beneath him begins to move, as if being controlled by some unseen mysterious force. Then, a massive boulder seems to rise straight out of the ground without him ever touching it, creating the distinct impression that he might be using some form of telekinesis or supernatural power to control the elements of nature itself. The footage quickly went viral and also spawned countless theories online. The combination of the shifting soil and the apparent extraction of that enormous rock helped make this video incredibly talked about, not to mention highly controversial. However, the most likely explanation is extremely less extraordinary. Visual effects experts and content creators frequently point out that videos like this can be produced using relatively accessible resources, like digital editing, computer animation, hidden cables, or clever perspective tricks. Beyond that, natural phenomena recorded in forests, such as roots shifting the ground or unstable terrain, creating the obvious illusion that the Earth is moving all on its own, have also been misinterpreted as something supernatural. In many cases, what seemed impossible ended up having a perfectly reasonable explanation related to nature or image manipulation, and that's why this scene generates even more suspicion. There's really nothing magical about it. A recording that has become some kind of true internet mystery shows a scene captured by a vehicle's dash camera on a highway in Japan. While the car drives normally along the road, a van is going in the opposite direction. At the exact moment the vehicles pass each other, something extremely weird happens because a man suddenly appears next to the van and falls onto the asphalt as if he came out of nowhere. The footage is so unusual that when analyzed frame by frame, it seems to defy any reasonable explanation. The man does not appear to jump from the van, he is not seen running across the road, nor does he emerge from any visible point on the highway. For many viewers, the impression is that he simply materialized in that spot or was instantly teleported onto the road. The incident caused momentary panic among drivers. Traffic slowed down, and some people believed they had witnessed a serious accident. However, the most intriguing aspect is that only a couple of seconds after falling, the man gets up normally and leaves walking away from the scene, apparently without major injuries. As happens with so many viral videos of this kind, countless theories quickly began to pop up everywhere. Some people suggested paranormal phenomena, flaws in reality itself, or even secret experiments involving teleportation. Others pointed toward a far more plausible explanation: the limitation of the camera angle and the so-called blind spots that can make a person stay completely hidden behind a moving vehicle, only becoming visible for a tiny fraction of a second when the vehicles line up in just the right way. Another hypothesis that frequently gets brought up is video editing. Once the recording spread across the internet, many users came to believe the scene might have been altered on purpose to create that instant appearance effect and shock people, which it definitely accomplished. One of the strangest videos ever shared across the internet first surfaced back in 2009 when a Russian man posted a recording that, according to him, was captured during an ordinary walk with his dog in a remote rural area. At the start of the footage, everything seems completely normal. The man films his dog running around through the snow-covered landscape as he strolls through a region surrounded by tall trees. However, when he swings the camera to the right, he captures a scene that would quickly become one of the most talked about viral mysteries in internet history. Off in the distance, it's possible to spot a woman standing still, gazing at a young girl who seems to be suspended in mid-air, positioned horizontally, as if she's flying or levitating several feet above the ground. The reaction from the cameraman appears genuinely spontaneous. The dog starts barking, and soon after they realize they're being watched, the girl rapidly descends and retreats along with the woman. The short duration of the video, along with the unexpected way the entire scene unfolds, contributed to making the mystery even deeper. To this day, no definitive explanation has ever surfaced for what appears in those images. Still, the majority of internet mystery investigators consider the case to be a probable fabrication or an elaborate prank designed to create the illusion of levitation. Even so, because of the simplistic way it was filmed and the seemingly unrehearsed reaction of the man and his dog, the video continues to stand as one of the most intriguing records ever associated with alleged supernatural abilities. Another video that intrigued thousands of people and started to circulate was recorded on a local dirt road surrounded by crops in the region of Frutal do Campo, inland São Paulo state. In the footage, a man driving through the countryside during daylight notices something clearly unusual at the edge of the road: a seemingly feminine figure dressed completely in white standing still near the vegetation. Surprised by the sight, he slows down and starts filming. As he approaches, he tries to get the girl's attention and communicate with her, but receives no response at all. The figure remains motionless for a few moments, certainly heightening the weirdness of the situation. Finally, she moves away slowly and steps into the dense vegetation along the roadside, eventually disappearing among the plants. The video quickly went viral and gave rise to countless theories. Many internet users immediately connected the scene to the classic legends of the woman in white, which are quite common in Brazilian folklore and in ghost stories told throughout rural areas. Others believed that the footage might actually show a real person in an unknown situation. However, as is the case with most videos of this kind, no concrete evidence ever emerged, suggesting that the episode had anything paranormal about it. The explanation many people still give is that it was simply a real person walking or standing near the road, whose unusual appearance and silent behavior ended up generating a sense of strangeness. Still, the isolated context of the location, combined with the fact that the figure was dressed in white with torn parts and did not respond to the driver, contributed to turning what could have been an ordinary situation into a great mystery for anyone who watched those images. For anyone who believes in ghosts, this video is definitely among the most unsettling ever recorded and shared online. The footage was captured by Canadian singer Mello LV from Vancouver, as she and a friend were enjoying a sunny day by the poolside. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary at first until internet users began analyzing the video more closely and pointed out something strange hidden in the background of the images. At a glance, the clip only shows the two young women chatting and smiling at the camera. However, among the bushes behind them, an apparently human figure seems to emerge for just a few brief moments. Many viewers claim to see the face of a girl silently observing them, partially concealed by the shadows of the vegetation. This supposed apparition goes completely unnoticed during the actual recording and was only spotted after she had shared the video online. According to reports that came out at the time, Mello LV herself stated that she had to watch the video several times before she could finally identify the figure mentioned by her followers. After finding it, she admitted to being really frightened by the possibility that someone had been hiding there in the bushes without either of them ever noticing. To this day, there is no concrete evidence whatsoever that the recording actually captures anything supernatural. The video continues to be remembered primarily because the supposed figure was only discovered after the footage had already been uploaded, turning what seemed like a completely ordinary recording into yet another mystery that fuels heated debates between skeptics and paranormal enthusiasts. The security cameras of a supermarket captured a scene that left thousands of people puzzled all around the world. Inside the footage, a woman is calmly walking through the aisles when she notices that another customer's shopping cart is moving on its own toward a distracted little girl. The child appears to be unaware of the danger and remains standing in the aisle as the cart quickly approaches. It's at this very moment that what made the video go viral takes place. The woman raises her hand toward the cart and, seemingly without touching it, the object changes trajectory, swerving away from the little girl just before hitting her. Right after the incident, she continues walking normally and vanishes from the camera's field of view, leaving behind a situation that many considered impossible to explain. As the video began to circulate, various theories started to emerge. Some people believed the woman possessed some kind of paranormal ability or telekinetic power, capable of moving objects from a distance with just a simple gesture. Others suggested that she might be a sort of guardian angel who appeared at the exact right moment to prevent an accident. Without a full technical analysis of the original footage, it was never possible to confirm any supernatural phenomenon. Still, the combination of the woman's gesture, the sudden change in the cart's trajectory, and the fact that a child was involved turned this recording into yet another one of those mysteries that remain absolutely unresolved forever. In 2016, a video recorded by a dashboard camera in Russia went viral after showing a scene that many considered worthy of a science fiction film. In the footage, a truck is driving normally along a busy highway when all of a sudden a human figure seemingly appears right in the middle of the road. The driver is forced to swerve sharply to avoid hitting someone, creating the impression that the person simply materialized out of nowhere directly in front of the vehicle. The recording quickly gave rise to increasingly outlandish theories. Some users claimed that the video showed a genuine case of teleportation, while others even speculated that Russian scientists had developed some kind of secret technology capable of transporting people instantly between different locations. The reaction was so massive that various tabloids began discussing the possibility that a technological experiment had been accidentally captured by the truck's camera. The most intriguing aspect of the footage is precisely the appearance of the man. Wearing light-colored clothing that resembles a laboratory coat or a protective jumpsuit, he seems to materialize in front of the truck without any apparent explanation. When the video is watched for the very first time, it is tough to identify where he came from, which helped fuel the theories of teleportation and inexplicable phenomena. However, later analyses pointed to a much simpler explanation. Observing the images frame by frame, many investigators concluded that the man was probably already on the road or ran across it in a spot hidden by the camera angle and by the truck itself. The combination of the recording perspective, the speed of the vehicles, and the low video quality means he only becomes visible at the very last instant, creating the illusion of a sudden appearance. Do not forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this one.